Hey everybody, 36-year-old Dan Bilzerian recently made headlines all over the internet for one particular video uploaded to YouTube where he's shown running towards the Vegas shooting and even asks a cop to give him a gun to help them out. Although these actions of his were met with very negative comments, a lot of people are asking, what do we really know about him? 10 things you didn't know about Dan Bilzerian, self-proclaimed poker king. He's the self-proclaimed Bill Gates of poker playing, and having won over an astonishing $50 million through poker playing alone, and with a notable win of $10.8 million in a single night, it's no doubt that he truly is the Bill Gates of poker. However, for Dan, it's not about the money or the cars. He says it's all about the freedom and being able to do whatever it is you want to do. Arrested in high school. He was arrested in his senior year for having a machine gun in his car on school property. Always for the love of guns, isn't it, Dan? He owns over 100 guns and has a loaded gun on display in every room of his mansion in Hollywood Hills that he leases for $35,000 a month from Nhit Long Wong, that happens to be one of Singapore's richest men. Ex-Navy Seal. He was enlisted in the Navy SEALs for 4 years, where he spent 500 days going through grueling Navy SEAL training. But a few weeks before graduation, he got kicked out of the program after having a dispute with one of his administration officers, which led him to being honorably discharged. He then enrolled in the University of Florida, where he majored in business and criminology. Multiple heart attacks. He's had 2 heart attacks before the age of 30, and it's no surprise why he lives his life to the fullest and seizes every moment. After 5 days of partying, snowboarding, gambling, crazy sex, sleep deprivation, consumption of cocaine, and the induction of 200 milligrams of Viagra, Dan had his first heart attack on the 4th day. And while he was in hospital, he was treated by Michael Jackson's doctor, Conrad Murray, who coincidentally treated Dan's grandfather a year prior, where he passed away from a heart attack in the same hospital. Dan's father, Paul Bilzerian, was a corporate raider, and a very successful one. He made a fortune in the 80s, and the New York Times described him as a takeover artist and practically born to be a corporate raider. At that time, it was said that he had a promising future, but it actually turned out to be quite the opposite. In 1989, Paul Bilzerian spent 13 months in prison after being convicted of fraud. He later filed for bankruptcy, and within years, he owed the SEC $62 million. Dan supports Trump. Dan Bilzerian has always been anything but shy about his love of guns and firearms in general, so it makes perfect sense for him to endorse the presidential candidate that shares almost the same views about gun control, or lack of it for that matter. Dan met with Trump at the Trump Tower a few months ago, and following the meeting, he had the following to say on his official Instagram page. In an age of pussified political correctness, you have to respect the people who remain unfiltered. Car enthusiast. Being the avid car enthusiast he is, Dan once made a mind-blowing $400,000 drag race wager against fellow enthusiast and Supreme Court litigator Tom Goldstein. Goldstein with his 2011 Ferrari 458 Italia and Dan with his tricked-out 1965 Shelby 427 Cobra went head-to-head in this high-risk, one-of-a-kind quarter-mile drag race that left everyone's palms sweaty and tension strung through the air. Dan won the race, clocking in at 10.74 seconds and a top speed of 132.88 miles per hour. Actor and stuntman. Dan has become a recent actor and stuntman as well, having roles in the 2013 movies Lone Survivor starring Mark Wahlberg and Olympus Has Fallen starring Gerard Butler, where he doubled for Butler stunts. Dan also pushed $1 million into the production of The Lone Survivor as a trade for a role in the movie Senior Chief Dan Healy that the producers promised would have at least 8 minutes of screen time and 80 words. This contract was breached, and Dan only appeared in the movie for less than 1 minute and just 1 line. The conclusion is that Dan is busy suing the producers of Peter Berg's Lone Survivor for the original $1 million plus a 20% penalty fee. Bailed out of jail. Whilst enlisted in the Navy, Dan once had to bail his dad, Paul Bilzerian, who was a prominent takeover specialist in the 1980s, out of jail by signing over a third of his trust fund. His dad wasn't very impressed with that and didn't speak to Dan for 8 months. And in Dan's own words, in regards to his father, he says he was a man of principle. He's an altruist. Bilzerian regularly donates money to charity. Dan undoubtedly has an altruistic streak as well that few people ever see because of the image that he portrays. In 2013, he started the Robin Hood Project, whose aim is to give back to the needy, but only in $10,000 installments at a time to avoid taxes in America. He's also helped a woman that lost all her limbs to make her home more handicap accessible. Cat lover. Dan Bilzerian, built like a tank, chick and money magnet to the max, risk taker and gun fanatic by nature, ironically, along with the two goats, owns a cat called Smushball. Who would have ever thought that Dan would be the cat kind of guy? But hey, Smushball is adorable, and that I can't contest. That's all for this video. What did you think of the video? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for a new video each and every day. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.